given that on your debut album it's really just you playing all the instruments, and certainly it's a much fuller sound. Are the band involved on the new album, or did you go back to playing all the instruments yourself again on the record?
Wynn Bennett, who's the keyboard player in the live band, she worked with me hand in hand on this record. So her and I kind of split the duties, but I didn't use the rest of the band. I just went back to kind of myself and my keyboard player playing all the instruments. So we certainly I certainly had a bit more help this time, but it was also very kind of minimal in a way in terms of personnel.
Definitely. Well, it's really interesting reading you sort of describing the inspiration behind the new album, Confess, and in the sort of press release and related material you talk about a couple of very memorable bike rides that you took, one where you unfortunately suffered a terrible accident, and one years later in Los Angeles, and both you described as being very out-of-body experiences. I was just wondering, how would you relate that state of being on the bike to the qualities that you're presenting on this album, Confess?
Well, I think that in those moments in life where you feel kind of above human or below human, whichever you choose, I think that a lot of truth lies in those moments, and a lot of truth lies in the moments when you're making music. If you're being somewhat honest with yourself, I think that you realize the things that are really important, and so it's less of an inspiration and more just a comparison in a way to making music. Definitely.
And I guess there's a very strong narrative aspect to the video for your single 5 Seconds. It's only a very beautiful sort of film clip, and it's adapted from a novel that you co-wrote with Eric Green called Night of the Silver Sun. It's a very exciting drama with a lot of bikes and action as well. Can you talk a little bit about this novel and the origins of that literary project?
Sure. Someone asked me, this actually has to do with Australia in a way. I think I was in Melbourne. I actually wrote it a lot of it in Melbourne. Someone asked me to write a fictional piece for a magazine, and I was asked to write something like 500 words, and it turned into 6,000 words, and then it turned into 12,000 words, and then it just kept going in a way. And I got a friend of mine involved in editing the story for me, and then he began to write some things in, and it's just kind of escalated from there, and became this kind of very full story. And writing is something I really enjoy, and something that I do kind of in private on the side, and haven't really showed many people my writing, but it's something I'm interested in, and it just kind of became one of these things that grew so much, and it was during the same time I was mixing the record, just after we had toured Laneway Festival, and it just seemed to all kind of have to do with put it in the music videos, and it's nice to have like a visual aspect to go along with the record that I can base in something that I've created.
Excellent.
You were just talking about your writing. George, where's your kind of go-to place when you write music? What environment or what space do you find you need to be in to get inspired?
I always say that the second you think you can be inspired in a certain place, there's no inspiration there anymore. So it's not a thing that you plan or can kind of give to yourself. It just has to come however it comes. I always try to set up a system of inspiration, but it never works.
And what's involved in setting up that system of inspiration?
Oh, you know, you do all kinds of things. You arrange your pillows on your bed a certain way. You put your typewriter next to a coffee machine. You do all kinds of silly things to hunt down inspiration, but it's all kind of a lie, you know. It just has to come. You know, it doesn't. You can't. The point is, you can't develop a system. I don't believe in a system.
Well, your new album...
I mean, I pretend like I do, but then it never works.
Well, your new album, Confess, is due out here in Australia on the 6th of July. We're going to hear a track from it. It's called 5 Seconds. Can you give us a quick intro? Is there a story behind this particular track we're going to hear?
Someone who didn't speak very good English once said to me, "On 5 seconds to your heart," and it was something that stuck with me for a long time. And I actually been working on this song. It's the only song I've ever worked on for more than a year. So I've been working on it since that person said it to me, and this is just a product of that.
Excellent.
Statement.
Excellent. Thanks very much, George Lewis Jr., otherwise known as Twin Shadow. Let's take a listen to that particular track. This is 5 Seconds from the album Confess and Triple R.